I didn't know what it meant to stand on a mark or to hit your light or to anything. I didn't know anything at all. And because I'd lied and said that I was 3 years older than I was, I had to pretend that I knew what I was doing and talking about, which it became obvious very quickly that I didn't know shit. But so, freaked out.
How about going back for this last season?
Oh, probably freaked out.
Still freaked out? Okay.
Yeah.
That's good. I freak out at DragonCon all the time. Okay.
Hi, Silver Girl.
Barbarella.
Of course you are.
Okay, first of all, you and a lot of the characters you played have been a huge part of my sort of feminist awakening and growing up understanding how to be empowered. I was wondering though, a lot of people talk about like how it is for women in Hollywood right now, like it's gotten better, and they're like, oh, it's not as bad as it used to be. I'm just wondering if you have any insight on that, or how you feel from when you started as an actress and to where you are right now.
Well, I mean, I have a very blatant and public personal experience of that situation. But separate from that, why don't I talk about that first? So when I first did the series, when I first did the series, I was very green. I was coming from nothing, and it made sense what my paycheck would be in comparison to what David's was, because he was coming from having just done a big feature, and et cetera, et cetera. And that's what happens. And you kind of, when you sign the contract, you sign, before you even are allowed to go into your first network audition, you sign your life away for 5 to 7 years. So you sign a contract that says that if I get this job, I will be paid this for the next 5 to 7 years, and I will do this job for that long. Which is great for young actors who have been auditioning for a long time and want to work and want to start making money and pay bills and stuff. But there is a certain point where it's a given that you start to renegotiate, because being paid that amount in success is inappropriate and not okay. So there was a certain point when I started to negotiate to get paid a fee closer to what David's was, because we were literally by that point equally successful and doing equal work, and so that was a struggle, to get there. And then when the first feature came around, I was offered less than half of what his fee was, and I put my foot down and I said, no, I won't do it if unless it's parity. So that made the headlines. There was a lot of conversation about that and yada yada. And then years went by, decades went by, and people still wanted to talk about it. And there was a point when I was saying, it's not really relevant today, and it's old news, and and then it happened again in this last series where which was just silly. It was somebody's being stupid, because it doesn't make sense. It was a bad idea on somebody's part, and I think that because there's so much attention on it today, because of the work that various people are doing, like Meryl Streep and Patricia Arquette, et cetera, I think that there is more attention paid to it than ever before, and there are organizations and websites and people talking about it, voicing it. Jennifer Lawrence, the article that she wrote about discovering that she was paid less. I think all of that is shining a very important and timely light on something that has existed for a long time. Knowing people who are in the arena of making those decisions, it's complicated. It's really, really complicated. It's complicated in every, not just in our business, but it's in every business around the world. And the idea of equality is complicated. It's political. And so it's a very big issue that at the very least, I think people who are in a position to make those decisions are starting to have those conversations and look at where they can make change and do things differently. Not across the board, but I think that it's a hot enough topic that that things are shifting. Yeah. Sorry.